Five, four, three, two, one. It's it. We're in. Welcome. It's Orion. So you might have come here from my main channel, but there's the off chance that you've come here just because, dude, I loved your I Come in Peace video. I loved your Rambo video. Who is this guy? There he is. This is the Orion guy. The voice is not me. The voice is actually this guy, Jean LaFontaine. You're like, what? He was the director trailer movie voice for like 20 years. You recognize him from everything. And I got an AI generated version of it, which I don't know if it's legal. I'm hoping it's legal to do the trailers, because like he's dead now. He passed on. It's very sad, because he was one of the greats. And so I like the idea of him doing a little intro to everything. If you came here from the main channel, you're like, what the hell is this one about? I'll give you a little teaser here. In fact, here's how it all started.
Like kung fu? Do you like hardcore action, big explosions, and 7-foot-tall aliens? How about a gritty crime drama or a buddy cop movie? Do you want witty one-liners, laser guns, a double cross, gratuitous nudity for no reason other than it's awesome? 80s karate fights, fast car chases, and 90 minutes of a great time? Well, I have 4 words for you. I come in peace.
I can't watch new movies anymore, man. I try. It's hard. The girl bought the new Beetlejuice and she bought the new Twister. Yeah, Twister. And it's like they do the things right. Like they're showing the movie, the special effects are all right, the characters are funny and it's entertaining. It's missing something. Like, first off, I can't stand how trailers, they just take, like, what was the one daylight come and you want go? You know the Beetlejuice song they were singing when they tried to scare the people out of the house? The banana song, whatever they call it. And then they just took that and put like a soulful America's Top Talent singer singing it slowly. And I'm just like, I get it. It's nostalgia. But it's like, do you have to be so ham-fisted with it? It feels so emotionally manipulative. And so it's just missing something. But I mean, it's still fun. It's good to watch. It actually reminds me of Quentin Tarantino had an interview where he was talking about why he was a huge fan of Hong Kong 70s action. And this is like pre-Bruce Lee, and then after Bruce Lee with all like the clones like Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee with like Li, Le, Leh, all kinds of derivatives of it. And it was like people were poor in 70s Hong Kong, 70s China. And so what you had to do is if you went to the movies, it was a big deal. So they want to give you the full range of emotions. They want to have comedy. They want to have action. They want to have a sad moment, makes you cry. And that's why when you watch it, all of a sudden, you're like, why all of a sudden is everybody crying? And then like 2 minutes later, it's funny. It's because they tried to give you everything all at once. And they didn't really have any exposure to American filmmaking, which was, been around for about a century, right? Yeah, Harry Belafontaine, that's the one. But the thing was, though, they came up with certain things that really, like, they really work, and they wouldn't have come up with them if they had come from an American filmmaking background, or even a European one. And largely, the problem is now, they got so successful, like, during the John Woo revolution in the 2000s, you lost, like, American action used to be more theatric. It was WWF. It wasn't, Jason Bourne and the Raid were kind of like the end of an era. And that's one reason I love when you watch things like I Come in Peace. Like, you watch the final action scene there, the action set piece where they're in that. There's always this one oil refinery in California they use for everything. It's the same one in RoboCop. It's the same one in I Come in Peace. It's the same one in Terminator 2. They always loved using it. I think it's an oil refinery. Maybe it's a metal thing. Anyway, it's a big factory. It's got a bunch of metal stuff and it's rusted. How do you not want to film there? But the action was more emotionally driven and it wasn't realistic. You had to like fill in the blanks with your mind. And that's kind of what I liked about it, is that you can't just passively watch it. You can passively watch Hong Kong action because the kicks are fancy, the things are stylistic, and it's very technically demanding. So it's really interesting to watch. But it's not story driven. That's why Jackie Chan did so good. Because when he's fighting, it's stuff that's around the room. He picks up a ladder that happened to be over there because they were painting the house with it and does it. So at least taps into the plot in order to do the action. Roadhouse, another great example of that. Yeah, remember the huge, ridiculous wrestling fights in They Live? Exactly. And here's the thing. Like, what's his face? Carpenter, when he was doing that fight, and they're like, this is going on way too long. What's the plot purpose for this? And he goes, I just like it because it's fun. You know? I put tits in the movies for no reason other than they're awesome. And that's another thing I miss, man. They used to just have nudity. Like, not sex, not hardcore. It was like comedies. Police Academy. At one point, Mahoney's got to talk to, what's her face? Kim Cattrall. And then she has to finally fall for his boyish charm and cheap pranks. So, you know, doesn't like him, starts to like him. They have like a winding down party on the beach where they just relax, and, you know, Callahan's over there, and what's his face has a saxophone, and then all of a sudden just like tits, and you're like, what was that? That was breasts. They're having fun. Let's move on. And you're like, nice. It just kind of like, relax, enjoy yourself. And you don't do that anymore. No, now if you have, dude, as soon as a girl takes off her top, well, we better have like hardcore anal. It's like, do we have to start at 267 miles an hour? Can we start in like a 30 zone? I'm fine with that. Yeah, exactly. And there's so few examples of it that every time an example happens, people freak out. They're like, this is the greatest, like the Daredevil show on Netflix. Absolutely. And that wasn't even, like, that was technically an homage to Old Boy. Like, what? Yeah, and I know everybody, that's why, see, there's a lot of movie review stuff that's pretty good, but I'm like, I don't want to just do that. Have another video of me showing how Old Boy, this Korean movie, Old Boy, the hallway fight, is exactly what they were doing in Daredevil. But it was to drive the plot forward. Yeah, but people enjoy that. And that's the thing. It's kind of like Isaac went on his podcast a couple weeks ago and he called it deep fried media. And I was like, oh, dude, I haven't heard somebody call things deep fried since like, well, I didn't hear it then, but I heard it from stuff from then, the 70s, with deep fried movie. And you're like, what the hell's deep fried movie? Do you remember Scary Movies? Those parodies that came out in like the 90s and 2000s? Actually, I think they were 2000s with the Wayans kids. Those were deep fried movies. Deep fried's like take a photocopy of a movie idea and then photocopy until you get this really grainy version of it. They called it deep fried movie, and it was making fun of all of the genres of movie around that same time. And it's just so funny when you think about like Scary Movie, 300, Meet the Spartans, all this, and you're like, oh, so they were doing this in the 70s. It's like, yes, they were doing it in the 70s. They were doing it in the 80s too. The Liam Neeson era was like peak parody. Airplane. Remember Airplane? One of the best movies that you've never realized you loved. Some of the older guys here remember it. It's an old movie. It came out in like 84 or something stupid. Like William Shatner's in it. Leslie Nielsen's in it. And it was actually a remake of like a 1950s like not a Twilight Zone episode. It was a movie about a plane that was crashing, and then one of the passengers had to come in and save it. And they're like, let's just remake this. And they made a parody of it that was so good that people who hadn't seen the original Airplane were like, this movie is awesome, not realizing it was a satirical take on it. And that's like really good satire when it stands on its own. I call that the RoboCop effect. RoboCop, satire of the media, of government, of private corporations, and greed. Starship Troopers, satire of fascism. Like, all these things are satirical. Even I'm going all Verhoeven right now, I get it, but the stripper one, Striptease, even that one, it was a satire of like melodramas of 10-15 years prior. And the problem is nobody knew all those ones, and then they were like, but the genre just didn't quite hit right, which is fine. But even that, it was, because I was watching it now and everybody's like, this is the worst movie ever, but it's got a cult following. Like, I get it. I get why it has a cult following. It is the same melodramatic, not even Twin Peaks. I want to say like Blue Velvet or something like that. Anyways, it's like those kind of movies, but she's just so extreme about the things, and it makes it look like it's bad acting. But I'm like, it's not bad acting at all. She's actively trying to like lampoon. And that's the difference. There's satire and there's lampooning. Satire is more subtle. It's kind of drawing attention to things to make fun of it. Lampooning is almost like an over-the-top caricature of it, right? Striptease on Laserdisc. Yeah. Oh no, Showgirls. Showgirls, not Striptease. Striptease was the Demi Moore one. Showgirls is the one I was thinking of. But yeah, that's the point. Caddyshack. Caddyshack was good too. Wet Hot American Summer is the best spoof. That is a good spoof movie. But you got to remember too, Wet Hot American Summer doesn't exist without Ernest Goes to Camp, without Summer School, without like every camp movie that ever came out in that age. What's the other one I'm thinking? Oh, Bill Murray. Not Stripes. What's the Bill Murray camp movie? Why can I not remember this one? I just watched the damn thing. Hold on a second here. Bill Murray camp. Come on, you son of a bitch. What is his movies? Jesus Christ, he's done a lot of movies. Yeah, like Bird. Meatballs. That's the one. Meatballs. Yeah, dude. Like you, oh, I look in the chat. 8 of you guys are like, Meatballs, you fucking idiot. Yeah. And you watch Meatballs has the same issue Police Academy does. There's been such good satire and lampooning of the genre that you watch them. They almost seem rudimentary now. Like Police Academy had Mahoney being the trickster. He was always like the goofy guy and he pranked everything and he got through on boyish charm and good looks, but then he had to get serious and so he buckled down and stopped the riots. But I watch it now and I'm like, I remember it used to be so funny to watch him prank the commissioner and all that stuff. And I watch it now. What did he do? He put shoe polish on the inside of a megaphone. So when he's getting yelled at, pulled it out and there was like the blackface lips on him. Like that was the prank. And I'm like, dude, Jackass has ruined my ability to watch pranks on movies. Nowadays, you'd be like, what the hell? But back then, it was like, dude, you can't go to the chief of police and put shoe polish on his lips. Are you insane? Now what do they have to do? Now they have to basically get him kicked in the nuts by a bull or something for you to even like react. So it's you watch them and they're a bit more rudimentary. Or the example was Meatballs. Their prank was they just took the camp guy, the counselor, and they took his bed and they put it outside so he'd wake up in the middle of the woods or on a lake or something. And it was pretty, it's funny, but you have to look at it more simply, which it sucks because it doesn't age the movies. It kind of ages us as an audience. So they're never going to be quite the same. But I mean, there's nothing, that speech of it just doesn't matter, where they go out and are like, we're going to lose and it's fine. We're losers and we're fine with that too. Let's just go out and have some fun. And then they pants the opposing team and they run off into the bus. It's almost like you want to have those. Sometimes you want to have those like very naive moments. Like every Christmas. My girl, I didn't know this. She was a huge fan of, it's a Drew Barrymore film. I can't believe I'm not remembering this one. It's a Christmas film. And it's like famous as hell. And for some reason, I'm drawing a blank on it. Actually, why am I even looking at it? Let's look at chat. You guys know the one. The Blob 84 or the Blob 1960s? Have you heard the one about Jay's reviews? I have not heard the one. Hey, welcome, Hawk. It's good to see you. Yeah, the Thing was a remake of the 1950s one. 82 is a way better movie. The remake of it now is bad. And like that's why like we're not against remakes. We're against bad movies. And I'm going to segue over to that in a second. It's a Christmas Drew Barrymore film and for some reason I'm drawing a blank. Babes in Toyland, that's the one. Babes in Toyland. Like, and you watch it, it's just a Christmas movie. They go to rent a movie in like the Midwest during winter, and she gets taken to this fantasy world. It's kind of like an Alice in Wonderland for the Midwest thing. It's just neat. All right. Yeah, the Naked Gun was serious. But the Naked Gun was also, and that's the other thing, the Naked Gun is a lampooning. It was a lampoon. It's not a satire. It's a lampoon of the gritty crime shows you used to watch, which were technically a remake of the film noir 1940s hard-boiled cop veteran films too, right? So everything kind of, like nobody creates moves out of a vacuum. But we have a real culture glut right now because nobody's making shit, which sucks, which is why you have to watch older stuff. But I mean, that's how good stuff is going to happen. It's how it always happened. It's like that saying about Star Wars. The guys who wrote Star Wars were raised on samurai films, World War II documentaries, westerns, and Flash Gordon comics. The people who make Star Wars now were raised on Star Wars. And so it makes it like, it makes a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Not impotent, inbred. It's inbreeding. And it's like, they'll get all the Star Wars stuff right, but then you end up with like, what if Yoda did lightsaber battles? It's like, no, that's not the purpose of that type of character. You're completely betraying the character arc. And yeah, people might think it's cool. Some mouth breathers would be like, dude, fireworks are awesome. But it ruins the thing. And it's one of those examples of you can't give people what they want because people don't know what they want until you show it to them. Steve Jobs, say what you will about him, absolutely brilliant on that thing. Nobody knows what the fuck they want. And if they tell you what they want, they're wrong. Bill Hader said the same thing when he was writing his show, Barry. If somebody tells you something is wrong, they're right. When they tell you how to fix it, they're wrong. And that's 100%. And this goes back to what I talk about for like my other content on the main channel. When you talk about audience capture, that's audience capture. Everybody tells you what's wrong. And you can, and you're like, okay, that makes sense. But then they tell you what to do. And they're always wrong. And it's not for any reason other than people are stupid. I don't mean this as in like you're stupid and I'm smart. I mean, we're all stupid. When we enjoy something, we don't know why we enjoy it. We just enjoy it. He pulled a rabbit out of his hat. What a great magician. He had a Concorde on the movie stage. And now it's gone. Penn and Teller were like, well, this is how we did it. You're like, well, now I don't like magic anymore. Thanks, Penn. Thanks, Teller. Yeah, but we'll make it entertaining. It's like, that's great for you guys. But in 5 years, when I'm sick and tired of hearing you blather about atheism, what the fuck am I going to do now? Now you know what I'm doing? I'm not going to magic shows. David Blaine had to basically, I'm going to redo Houdini. And even now I'm like, eh. And Chris Angel's like, what if I do that but emo? And they're like, holy shit. And now you're like, eh. Yeah, after watching him, I was like, who are these Japanese and where have they been all my life? Or who are the Japanese? Oh, yeah, dude. And I got blessed. I was blessed. When I was in college, I was there for my art degree, fine arts. And a buddy of mine, huge comic wonk. Like his big claim to fame is having all of the X-Men comics and all of the Wolverines. His house ended up burning down. He remade his collection and got them all again. It was just insane. An insane level of dedication to his hobby. And he taught me everything about that. And my other friend, he was a movie guy. He was going to film school and he taught me everything about all this stuff. And he would want like Kurosawa, all that stuff. And then my other friend, he was a skateboarder and he was building his own board company. And that's everything I learned about skateboarding. Like The End, Tony Hawk's The End is still, I don't know why nobody talks about that anymore. As far as skateboarding movies go, that one was really good. Like it really does capture that grunge 1970s 1980s Gen X aesthetic. Like, have you ever watched Dave's Scart Thumb podcast? You know his thumbnail he's got on that one, where it's like that's from that same era. Breakfast Clubbish. It's pretty good. Yeah, complete aside, I love sleight of hand, so skillful. Yeah, it is skillful. Well, and yeah, Dune's talking about the Star Wars for the score too. Yeah, and that's part of it. That's where he understood the idea of leitmotif. And this is where Disney's kind of really pissing me off lately. Because they took the idea of leitmotif and they're lampooning it. Or it's not even it's a lampoon or a mockery, I guess. So if you guys don't know, leitmotif it's a theatrical thing. It's a German opera idea that soundtracks, like music, or is it diogenetic sounds, I think they call it, it follows the character. And the idea then is you're able to subtextually talk about the influence of a character without having them there. Case in point, when you think the Stormtrooper March, the Imperial March, you think Darth Vader. When you think of those light flutes playing, you think Princess Leia. When you hear the Heroes song from Star Wars, you think Luke. And what they did is, so they would associate it early on. You hear the Imperial March, Vader comes on screen. You hear Imperial March, Vader comes on screen. Vader comes on screen, Imperial March. Sometimes it's Luke and Vader together, and they have kind of like a hybrid where it starts as one, moves as the other, or it's Luke's theme, but it's got more of the same instruments that the Imperial March has, which shows us go to the dark side. It's all subtext, right? You're like, holy shit. Holy shit. Hey, Billy, thanks for not being a fucking retard for once. Empire of Dreams. I haven't seen that one. I'd have to. It's on my list. Anyways, back to leitmotifs. Yeah. You watch these leitmotifs, and then what'll happen is they want to have, like, they walk into a new place. They're not sure if Vader's there. I think the Sky Palace in Empire had this, where they subtly put Imperial March song in there, and it's just in the background. You don't even notice, but you're like, oh. You didn't realize it until after. You're like, oh, Vader's here, or Vader's influence is here, and that's why they use it. It becomes its own character. The problem is now, like Disney, they understood this, and they just use it to emotionally manipulate you. That's why, like, if you ever start noticing you get really sad at ends of the Guardians of the Galaxy when the Marvel was doing the thing, it's not because the plot actually made you sad. It's not because it had an emotionally resonant thing. It's that they're doing a scene that's like 3 out of 10, good acting, good story, plot development, feeling sad about something. Like, what's the blue guy? Randu? Anyways, where he has to sacrifice himself to save Peter. He's like, I've always been your dad, boy. And it's like, it's a nice moment, but it's not a tearjerker. But they start swelling the music in the background. This is sad music. It's not even a leitmotif for a character. It's a leitmotif for an emotion. What's the saddest sounding things we could think of? Violins and flutes. Make it long and draw out. Make it swell. You put that with subpar plot development and character arcs, and oh man, now you got a tearjerker, but it's hollow. It's manipulative. If you come from a culture that doesn't have those same cultural leitmotifs, right? If you're from like China, they don't know what the fuck that music's about. They're not going to have the same reverberation from it, which is most likely why I bet you anything if you watch a Chinese version of it, of that Marvel movie, they probably have a different song in there. Probably do. Yeah, it doesn't. And that's why it doesn't work on you, X-Runner. Like, you don't know that it doesn't work. You don't know why it doesn't work. It just doesn't. Like they say, it doesn't hit right, and that's why it doesn't hit right. It doesn't hit right because you need to discover it for yourself. And this is a Marshall McLuhan thing. Hot mediums, cold mediums. I've talked about it a bunch. I'm going to talk about it again. I love it. Hot mediums and cold mediums. He talked about that in Medium is the Message. He was talking about television, but it absolutely applies to almost everything. Cold mediums are, there's gaps. I think it's an overly simplistic way of putting it, so I don't want to rehash his stuff, but there's gaps. So the radio is a cold medium. Guys are talking. They're telling you the sports game. Crack. Somebody hit the thing. It's going here. Third base. Blah, blah, blah. In your mind, you have to put together the pieces. He's describing the scene. You can sometimes hear the sound effects. You can hear the crack. Sometimes they'll add sound effects in there because they can't hear it on the field, but they'll add it there. They'll sometimes add audience things. Sitcoms do this when they add laugh tracks. Same thing. So in your mind now, you have to imagine the baseball game based on his description. You actually have to do some work. You have to earn it. For you to have a very engaging baseball game you're hearing on the radio, you have to earn it. You have to picture the players. You know what this guy looks like. You know what this field is like. You know, maybe you've been to a game. You know what the Sky Dome smells like. You know when the dome opens, you're like, oh, that's awesome. And you feel it, the heat, hot dogs. And so you have to imagine all these things. TV is a hot medium. You don't get that. You can, but in general, as a medium, it don't. It tells you everything. You're seeing what you're supposed to see. You're listening to what you're supposed to listen to. They tell you the setups. They tell you the payoffs. They do all this stuff. You sit there and you passively enjoy it, right? Your brain doesn't have to do anything. It's literally slop. Now, I'm not saying this as it's a negative thing. It's a bad thing. It can be good. I Come in Peace, Rambo, King of the Kickboxers, they're absolutely great at it. And the funny part is, the more mistakes they make, the more cold it gets. Which is why a lot of people, like, there was one guy who was commenting on my Rambo 3 trailer. We used to laugh at this movie as a kid. I'm like, that's why you don't get it. That's why this movie is awesome. When they take, like, here, I'm putting, oh no, actually, yeah, it doesn't matter. We're not monetized yet. I have the actual Rambo tune on there, which the copyright, they're like, yeah, go for it. We're taking your money, though. I'm like, that's fair. That's fair. Where is it? King of the Kickboxers, Wrath of Khan, Indian Poop. Oh, I got to add it. All right, so I have to... you can already tell I'm not prepared. He has to add his own media to his own channel for his own podcast. Didn't he do this beforehand? I did, but I didn't. Just chill. We'll get there. work folder, recordings, the Rambo 3 folder, and the Rambo 3 trailer. All right.
What does this work?
It's a blue light.
What does it do?
Turns blue.
Do you love action but hate pinko commies?
What the?
Do you yearn for an age where we were the good guys and had clear bad guys without some deconstruction about maybe the real evil is the friends we made along the way? Simple and effective stories. Stories perfectly told. A movie that has refined its genre to the point of perfection. Not a line of dialogue out of place, not a wink to the audience. Unironic awesomeness. A movie where you ram a tank into a helicopter for no reason other than it's awesome. A movie that lets you know it's okay to bring a bow and arrow into a combat zone. Do surgery on yourself with nothing but a campfire and a knife? Well, I have the movie for you. In the age of peak Hollywood genre, a working, stiff second unit director making his film debut with the greatest action movie ever conceived, teaming up with Vietnam-era veteran writer, teaming up with Oscar award-winning actor turned action star Sylvester Stallone, creating action Americana that's so good you'd swear it was propaganda. It's the pinnacle of movies if you like movies with witty banter.
Any ideas?
They're rounding them's out.
Hell of a time for humor, John.
Cool one-liners.
Who do you think this man is? God. Oh, God, would have mercy.
Over-the-top violence, indulgent pain, and the perfect mix of mindless action and mindful characters. This is their uncle who showed up at Thanksgiving to piss off your sister who returned from university to lecture you on racism. It's the peak of action in Rambo. Rambo 3.
God, I want to watch that now. Watch party. Let's just kill copyright strikes. Let's just watch Rambo 3 fucking live. Okay. So here's what I'm talking about when I talk about all this stuff. Stallone was notoriously a diva. Like once he got really famous, like he was good. Rocky right out of the gate, Academy Award, first act, awesome. And then he did, I might get the order wrong, but generally he did First Blood, a lot of those kind of movies. And then he did Cobra. And Cobra did well as an action movie. Like, holy shit. Razor Fist has a video on Cobra, which it's good. But again, you watch it, it's kind of a little dated compared. Same problem that you have with like Police Academy, where it's like, oh, that's kind of quaint. And then he did First Blood Part 2. Did amazing. They spent like 16 million or something like that. Not a lot. And it made 300 million. It was just a cash cow. And that was when Stallone became an A-lister. Like at that point, it's like Stallone could do no wrong. And it sometimes blows my mind. Like I found Rambo First Blood Part 2 to be the weakest of the 3 and only 3 Rambo films. I just did. And I was like, I don't get it. How is this one the most financially successful out of all of them? And then but I kind of learned as I went on, like I was doing the Orion thing and I was like, do I want to do American Ninja? And I put it on again. I watched American Ninja and I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. It's not good. And then I checked the stats. Dude, they made like 6 American Ninja films because the first one did the same thing. They had like a $1 million budget and the thing made $300 million or something stupid like that. And I'm like, holy shit. How did this make so much money? And then every movie made a little bit less and a little bit less. And then by the 6th one, they're like, whatever. Yeah, I guess it was just, it was new. It's new. The action film was like not a big thing, like not like this. And so Rambo First Blood Part 2 did really amazing. And then the second one, they gave it something like a $60 million budget. They're like, yeah, throw money at this one. Let's do it. And it still made $180 million. So it tripled its budget. So it's successful. But it wasn't as successful, which is kind of funny because I would argue, I think it was the best of a genre. And I know because who was it? Chin Up was asking earlier. It's like First Blood is still the better movie. It is based on like if you want to make a quality movie, what is the arguably objectively better movie? The character arc is good. The action is realistic. The themes, the good. If you were to write a novel, well, I mean, technically it's based on a novel, so that's the difference. If you were to write a book, the book of First Blood is far superior in every way to Rambo. It just is. But that's how Hollywood works. So they made First Blood. And it was one of those 70s films like Easy Rider, like Rolling Thunder, or any of these kind of depressing ones where they always had like a really dour ending. That book that Nick recommended to me, where the fuck is it? Hold on a sec. I gotta look. I still have it? Did I get rid of it? No, I got it somewhere. Defiance, anyway. I don't know where the hell I put it, but Defiance. And it has one of those really shitty, depressing endings with like just, and it was big in the 70s because the 60s, everything was all westerns and the good guy wins the end. Or like, how about one where like it doesn't fucking matter? Whatever. We're all dead. Like the end of Easy Rider, they're doing their thing. And then what happens? Two rednecks and pull out a shotgun and just shoot them for no reason. They just, fucking hippies. And that was the ending of it. Rolling Thunder, same thing. Guy finally gets revenge on the people that killed his family, got all of his Vietnam vet time out of his system, just goes on a killing spree, then goes home. That's it. Rambo was supposed to kill himself at the end. Or was it Trotman was supposed to shoot him? I can't remember. I've yet to be able to find the book. Michael Dudikoff. Holy shit. You know the name. Yeah, I remember it was really weird that when I saw him on that Jerry Springer movie, and I'm like, what the fuck happened to Dudikoff? And then I found out he didn't know any martial arts at all. Like he was playing the American Ninja, and he didn't know shit. They just put him in there because he had pretty eyes. I'm like, you sons of bitches. What makes Die Hard so good? Die Hard is just, it's well, we'll get to that. Die Hard is definitely a thing. It had to be. Without Die Hard, the genre would have died off at Rambo 3 is my claim to make. So anyways, they made a really good movie. It did really well. They're like, we need a sequel. So we were going to throw money at it and we're going to turn it into a very like a structured formulaic script. They have like working stiff script writers. They're like, this is what you do. Page 10, you have the conflict. Page this, it's very formulaic. It's serialized. Doc Savage, Indiana Jones, like all those, like Flash Gordon, Sherlock Holmes. When you get with those serialized things, that's what they do when Hollywood gets a thing and they want to make a sequel to it. Let's just make it into a serialized thing. And then Rambo goes from being like the greatest Vietnam vet ever to almost like a superhero. Like he's still in shape. Why? Because he's in prison. Yeah, but why? Well, he's kicking rocks. And then they throw him down in the jungle and he just becomes a one-man army. It's complete power fantasy. It's great. He meets a girl. He falls in love. And I guess that has nothing to do with the Rambo character arc. He's a guy who devoted his life to his country, had an amazing talent. They turned him into a killing machine, and then they just disposed of him like garbage when he wasn't needed anymore. And then the whole idea of First Blood was exploring that. How the fuck does that get him a Vietnamese girlfriend? It doesn't. But that's what movies do. The hero gets the girl, this thing. And that's why I don't think Rambo 2 is a better movie. It's just, you could have put anything. Put Indiana Jones in there. It's the same movie. It's not a Rambo film, but Rambo 3 is, and this is why I call it peak. This is why I say it's not First Blood, but it's in its own way as good as First Blood is in its own way. They're siloed perfection. They took the idea of serialized action schlock and they elevated. They're like, what if we took Rambo 2 and made a baby with First Blood? And that's where Rambo 3 came out. Like they knew, okay, what was this thing? He's like completely tortured, PTSD from his time in the art camps there. Let's take this ordinary feeling of being disenfranchised and traumatic and war-torn and PTSD, and let's elevate it. He goes to Thailand. He goes to Thailand to like find his peace, to end his war, because he's always going to be a killer. You're like, okay, I get that. That's something we can all understand. The guy's like Stardew Valley, same thing. He's tired of working in the office. He goes to live on the farm. All right. So they go in there, and then what do? The first thing, he's got a stick fight in Thailand. Why is that stick fight there? Because you can tell, like, he just has that need. He's like, he's a dog. He's got to chase that bone. And so he needs that kill. He needs that fighting instinct in him. And you can see it because they kind of have the music fade out at one point. Like, once he starts getting beat up by the dude, his PTSD flashback shits come back, and that's like a throwback callback to the first one. You're like, oh shit, I know what that is. But this is what I mean. Movies, hot medium. That is a cold medium attribute. You have had to watch 3 Rambo films to get that reference. That's exactly the same as when he's in the prison in whatever that town was. He was in Hope. I just know it's from Hope, BC, but he wasn't in Hope at the time. I don't remember what the town was. Portland or something. And you're like, oh shit, his PTSD is kicking in. And then you realize once his PTSD kicks in, that's when he starts kicking ass. You're like, oh, I get it now. It's like a shadow. It's a Jungian thing. Every time they drive him to those memories of his Vietnam days is when the killer instinct comes out. And then right at the end, he's like just beating the shit out of the guy. He's wailing on him. He has him down. He can finish him off now. And then he catches himself and stops. So it's like, okay, he's learning to control his beast. I get that. And you're like, you got all of that from a stick fight in Thailand with Rambo? It's like, yes, I'm telling you. That's why it's awesome. And you would have never, and you don't even think about that. Like 8-year-old you watching this on VHS home videos. The last video, by the way, I've ever watched that didn't have 15 minutes of like trailers and teasers was Rambo. I remember this. I rented it one day. I put in a thing. You push play, 3 seconds of static, and then first thing is the fucking Rambo logo. I miss when movies did that. Just push play, movie starts. Oh, it was fucking beautiful. They don't do that anymore. But yeah, and you're like, holy shit, that's a rather deep, like not a single scene was taken out of context. And it's not just, why are we there watching this? Like, why would I be at a camp watching Rambo? And you see it's Colonel Trotman with some dude in a suit, you know, Boddicker from RoboCop's there in a suit. It's like, why are they there? And that's the importance of like a first sentence in a book, for example. It whets the appetite. Yeah, Rambo could just walk over and murder people and do lightsaber battles with a Yoda for an hour and a half. And sure, we'll watch it. But now we got Trotman in his uniform. Oh, last time Rambo 2 he did that. He had a mission for him. What's this mission? What's he doing here? Who's that guy in the suit? And the way he's dressed, you can kind of tell, like, you know, he's American. And you're like, he's probably a CIA guy because he has that kind of look, right? So why is the CIA and why is the army looking for Rambo? And then they find him in here. They watch him dealing with his demons. They get back up. Your appetite is wet. You're like, oh, I fucking get this. You have to think. You have to use your brain. You have to fill in the gaps. You invent all kinds of scenarios. Are they getting him to get more MIAs out of Vietnam? Who knows? Who knows? And then they find him at the camp. And that's where they deliver, like, I'd say the line that, well, not the line, but the story that kind of defines the movie about the sculptor. He had a great rock, and he found it, and he sculpted, and he worked on it forever, and he's telling Rambo this story, and he made a beautiful sculpture. And everybody looked at it. They're like, it's a great sculpture. It's like, how did you do it? What did you even do? He's like, the sculpture was already there. I just took away all the rough pieces. And then Rambo looks up, and like, that's it. It's like, and which is kind of, I mean, when he was talking at the camp in First Blood, I made him. He's mine. But then he's talking here, where he kind of comes to his own revelations. Like, I didn't make you. I just took off the rough edges. You were always this guy. Which is like, oh, that's why he's got that like instinct for killer once he gets a couple hits in the head. You're like, oh, I get it. That's pretty cool. And then, you know, hero's journey. It's hero's journey. So you already kind of, and that's the beauty of the hero's journey, is it's such a very, same as Star Wars. Star Wars and Rambo 3 are the same story, ultimately. But it's not that shitty action slog that Rambo 2 had, because you know the structure of the plot. You now can just put that on the background. Okay, this is where he rejects the journey. He's not ready yet. It's not his war. You're going to Afghanistan. You're going to free him. The guy's bad. He's a big, bad, evil guy. We're going to give him Stinger missiles. That's great. I mean, it works better now because back then, we actually did that to the Russians in Afghanistan. We were smuggling Stinger missiles up there, and we were taking out Hind choppers. So it was kind of like their way of like taking the current politics of the age and adding it. But now we've had enough time go through where it's like, it's mythical. We're fighting the Russians. How adorable. It's like the Wild West. The Cold War, like the end of the Cold War, the Afghanistan war with Russia and that, we don't put nearly enough. Like, we have Napoleonic war dramas all the time. Colonel Sharp, that kind of thing. We have the Edo period in Japan, the Three Kingdoms of China, the Wild West, 1940s Chicago gangsters. Like, there's all kinds of set pieces that are great things, but we don't take the 60s to 80s Cold War seriously enough. I think it was like it's ripe for storytelling. It really is. Anyway, so he rejects his call to action. Guy gets captured immediately, thrown into a prison. Again, second callback. And I don't even talk about this in the video. This is like, this didn't make the cut because I'm like, I don't want to get longer than like half an hour, but I could talk about this forever. And it's great because now he's like, the CIA came back. Why would the CIA come back? Well, that needs to happen. And you kind of get it. You go along with it. You're like, the CIA wouldn't come and tell him that unless they want him to come, but they don't really need that. They just need the plot to go forward. And you're like, that's fine. I can live with that. Hey, they kidnapped your colonel, just so you know. And he's like, send me in there. It's like, you? Who the fuck are you? Just get me in there. Send me some gear. He's like, all right. And it was like right then, it was like he had his issue wasn't how am I going to save him? How am I going to stop an entire Russian division? His job was just, do I want to do it? And now he has to save his friends. And now he has a motivation. He doesn't want to defend his country. He's been disenfranchised on that. And everybody kind of gets that. I'm pissed off at Canada right now. I totally resonate with that. But his friend, why are you going to do this? He would do it for me. He did do it for him. He pulled him out of a prison in Rambo 2. You see what I mean, though? It's like all of these callbacks, but they don't shove it in your face like a Disney film would do or a Marvel film where they have to show you a flashback and do this. They just assume you're smart enough to remember that the colonel twice has gone to rescue him out of a no-win situation. In Hope, BC, he pulled him out of there before the cops killed him. Pulled him out of the prison in Rambo 2 before he brought him in there. And now he's in trouble, and now he has a reason to get back in there, and he goes in, and it's fucking just, oh, I love that shit, man. It's so good. Let me see here, chat. I'll go back to that Rambo. It's a passport. It's a passport, bro. Remo Williams. Dude, Remo Williams, I'm actually surprised you remember Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins. They never did a sequel to it, which it was like totally set up. It could have been. If you guys don't know, the guy who played Remo Williams is also the guy from Tremors. Not Kevin Bacon, but the other guy. I can't remember his name right now. I think he's dead now. But it was one of those American Ninja hero's journey. Guy learns Chinese kung fu from an old master and then uses it to fight crime. But it was definitely satirical. It was definitely a satire of the genre. And it was pretty good. Like he learns to walk on water. He learns to catch bullets. It was like the Matrix for the Matrix. And Kate Mulgrew. Catherine Janeway is like the love interest in that one. You're like, what the fuck? You're like, yeah, but it's actually fun, especially since they did like a Breakfast at Tiffany things where I think what's his name, Prang or Pong, the Chinese kung fu master. It looks like it's just a white dude with eyebrows stapled onto him, and it's so bad, but it's fun. It's a fun movie. Kind of like what's that one? Not Enter the Dragon, but it was Return of the Dragon, the blaxploitation satire of like Bruce Lee movies, which is pretty good, where like the pimp knows kung fu and shit. It's like, oh, there's so many good ones from this stuff, man. You got to do one of these with Rollo, the more masculine Siskel and Ebert. Dude, I would love that because he's one of the reasons that I got started on this. Delicious Tacos and a few others, because Rollo was talking about where's the red pill go now, and it's like, well, we got to create things, and like there's like a huge group of guys like, oh, we need to create something, and then nobody's creating anything. Rollo kind of did. He did Captain Save-A-Ho and that, so he's putting his money where his mouth is, granted. But like Isaac, when we were talking on his podcast, he's talking about, yeah, there's not guys making movies anymore, and there is, but there's not a lot, but there's a lot of guys like, man, we need to do this, and we don't. We should go eat somewhere. Where do you want to eat? I don't know. So I'm like, why wouldn't I? And that's kind of why I was like into this, because I'm like, this will be great, because I'm already having to get ass deep into learning storytelling and writing and that stuff for the books. So why don't I just do it as a content pivot anyway and just give you guys appreciation you never had for a lot of the stuff. Fred Ward, thank you. And Last Dragon, thank you again. Dude, making this collaborative was probably one of the smartest things we ever did, because like there's so many tip of my tongue things. You guys are just on it. It's all we need. 60 people, and as long as like one of you knows what I'm talking about, we got it. The Mission Impossible TV series, that is true. It does Cold War stuff pretty well for a TV series. But if you so for Cold War movies, there's one I actually haven't watched yet, which I'm gonna. It's Robert Redford, Flight of the Conchord, which is one that I've been told is really good. So I've got it. I just got to get around to watching it. If you like it with a sci-fi twist, there's the Forbin Project. That one's really good. I love that one. It was about like the communists and the Americans both made AI, and then the AI kind of takes over the world. It's got that 1960s Planet of the Apes vibe theme to it. Really good. You bastards, you murdered it. A little bit of the Roger Moore stuff in there. The Timothy Dalton Bonds kind of catch on to the end of the Cold War, but they kind of deviate from it. Like they have a little bit in Living Daylights, I would say good, but License to Kill is kind of like they got into Iran Contra and drug dealers and stuff like that, so it's not really as good. 3 Days of the Condor, that's what I meant, not Flight of the Concorde. Thank you. Yeah, Robert Redford, 3 Days of the Condor, that's one on my list. Jason Bourne kind of came afterwards. The first Mission Impossible movie, same thing, was like a Dr. Thomas Barnett talks about this as in the NATO coming to terms with its own irrelevance after the end of the Cold War, and then what do? And so there was some stories in that era too, that 80s, late 80s, early 90s. Well, what do we do now that Russia's no longer a threat? Mission Impossible 1 did really good. Well, now we might as well turn it. They basically made a reference to John Voight being the Russian mafia. You know, I used to be a spy, but now the war is over. What do? Let's make a bunch of money doing crime. And yeah, there's always the Clancy stuff too, like Hunt for Red October, Fear and Present Danger, Patriot Games, the Harrison Ford stuff, and they're all good. But then again, other than Hunt for Red October, they're all post-Cold War stuff, where it's like it's like the spy thriller. But what do we do now that there's no communist threat? And they have to figure it out. But yeah, like the stuff beforehand, there's Hunt for Red October, there's Rambo 3, there's 3 Days of the Condor. There's not a lot out there, and there's like so much you can do. Plus, everybody has a problem now. Now that cell phones exist and smartphones are everywhere, it's very difficult to write stories where people don't have information. Like you can't make Home Alone anymore. Mom would just call home. Hey, Kevin, grab an Uber, meet me at the airport. Okay, Mom. Movie's over. They get their house stolen, the sink's running, roll credits. Oh, like the Yugoslavian-Bosnian conflict. See, and I don't know enough about that, which I should, because like I've sailed with people who did time in Bosnia. So, usually Air Force guys. So they're like, yeah, I left the infantry. I'm a firefighter now. I'm not touching this shit. Not after Bosnia. I'm like, fair enough. But I mean, everybody's complaining and everybody's bitching. And I used to like Critical Drinker back before he was good. Like when he was just like a smaller channel and he was doing his thing and it was fun. And then he had his like anti-Star Wars stuff, which, I mean, it hit right at first. But then you realize pretty quickly that like, dude, everything is the same. Hey, did you guys see this piece of shit movie? Look at these pieces of shit. They're stupid feminists. Make a poop joke. Like, got derivative really quickly. And I realized like, they don't want to enjoy things. They don't. I know, let's start more wars. Yeah. NATO gonna do what NATO does. But yeah, and I realized like in him, Nerdtronic, all of them really, because I think that's what sells right now is just selling outrage. Hey dudes, you see this piece of shit movie? Let's hate watch it together and then yell at it. And I'm kind of going like it gets tiring really quick. It's like, do you realize there's 100 years of cinema? 100 years. And I'm not doing it as like a nostalgia. Things used to be better back in the day, but like things were better. And like, why are they better? It's almost like you have a great opportunity and a huge audience. You could teach your audience to appreciate good film, good TV, but you don't. You don't. You just get mad at things. And they're like, I can just say the message. The message. Oh, he said the line. Show a poop joke. That doesn't help anybody. That's just slop. That's literally staring into the abyss and the abyss stares back at you kind of vibes, you know? I've made this thing as a piece of shit and my piece of shit content will show you this. And you're like, hey, it's like the Coke and Pepsi of piece of shit movies and film and content. Fills time between commercials, says nothing and uses a lot of voice, but I feel like I'm on the winning team. I feel good because I don't like the same brands you don't like. I hate Disney. I hate Disney. Let's hate Disney together. For me. Here's some merch. You're like, yes. Mystery Science Theater 3000 Gen X has seen this before. I see, that's not even though, Chesty. Mystery Science 3 Theater was like, they ripped on it and they hated it, but it wasn't mean-spirited. It came from a position of love, right? Like they enjoy hating it. It's the same as like ribbing your friend or busting his balls. It was fun. It was funny. And it wasn't just him yelling at the screen. He had to invent. He looked at a gumball machine. He's like, you know, it'd be great if I gave this thing a parrot mouth and have it give witty one-liners. How about this too? This vacuum. Let's turn it into a robot. Let's put this on public access. It was awesome, but it's like they even have it on live streams now. I don't know if it's new episodes or old episodes, but like I've been telling you, Hasbro has like a G.I. Joe and 24/7 streams. There's even parents out there who's like, you know what? I'm raising my kids to only have Saturday morning cartoons. That's the only thing I'm having them watch. None of this new shit. And so they put on Transformers and G.I. Joe all day, every day with like Thundercats. Orbital Bacon, wonderful channel that does the same thing. He's like showing Lone Star and shit. But yeah, in Mystery Science Theater, they like the old 50s sci-fi, cheap budget stuff. A lot of, that. My wife saw Cameron Diaz at a horse show last year. She was there to watch her niece. Really? Interesting. Like Cameron Diaz is babysitting in her spare time, Marty? Nick Beto does great deep dives into why some band songs become their biggest hits and why they're great. Yeah, Beto. He's the old hipster looking guy, the gray hair. I remember watching his one on the Smashing Pumpkins when they showed why, was it Shara Brock? I think so. Why he enjoyed Shara Brock. And Billy's always good about like little things to keep himself interesting. That was always he was always the pseudo-intellectuals version of rock music. So that was good. Yeah, Luke is old school. Owen Wilson. Yeah, Beto does good. The Bourne Identity, the original one. I haven't watched the original ones yet. I kind of am curious about it. I wouldn't mind watching them. But that's what I mean. Like, you get all these guys and they're just doing shit. They're just slop. It's just Coke and Pepsi. And then they're relying on your audience being stupid. It's a hot medium. I am telling you what to watch. I am telling you how to feel about it. And I am drawing attention. Like, look, I can shit on Star Wars all day, every day. I can make 500 Captain Marvel videos like Jeremy from the Quartering and buy a new shed for my house, which it was the weirdest thing to brag about. Hey, Captain Marvel got me a new shed for me and my wife. It's like, is that where you're podcasting from? Fucking Zach Small looking motherfucker. But that's all you're talking about. So at the end of it, and this is why marketing is really good. A lot of the difficulty in marketing isn't about salesmanship. It's not about selling a product. It's not about pitching it. It's not about making you love it. It's just about exposure. If I just show you shitty Star Wars clips all day, every day, when you're sitting there in front of your streaming service, like, I got to watch something. What do I watch? And you're scrolling through, everything gets a tenth of a second of your attention. You recognize the Star Wars one and you stop there and you look at it and you're more likely to click it. So for all of these guys that are shitting on this stuff, they're actually making it more popular. If you really didn't like the new Star Wars, you just wouldn't watch it. You wouldn't talk about it. You wouldn't enjoy it. It would just disappear. The opposite of love is not hate. It's apathy. They're talking about Star Wars like a jilted ex shitting on the guy, but they would take him back in a second. It's like, no, if this is no good, stop watching it. Morbius, great example. They just like, I'm not watching it. Or the new Joker. Nobody just, I'm not watching it. Made no money. It's going to disappear, except for the fact that Nerdtronic and these guys are just shitting on it. Hey, here's my 15th video on why I hate the fucking Joker. Like, I didn't even know how common it was until I was like filming the I Come in Peace movie and the King of the Kickboxers one, where I talk about, there's always that section in there where like, I hate movie reviews on YouTube, communist assholes, and people and Nerdtronic just blathering about, this movie sucks. My PR guy told me to talk about it this week. It's like, so I would just do a search for like, I hate Star Wars or something like that. Something like, I want to hate watch something. And it was just like millions of views, dozens of videos, and I was like, holy shit. And then I realized like, it's 5 content creators just overloading the thing with slop. It's Critical Drinker. It's Nerdtronic. There's this other guy. I don't even know who he is. He's the guy that like, but he's the guy that Red Letter Media makes fun of when they're doing those nerd casts where they pretend to be nerds talking about Star Wars. It's like, oh, that's what they got that from. Yeah. Beverly Hills Cop, another great example. Yeah, it's about male bonding. It's about loyalty. It's the same, and it's the same thing as Rambo. He's coming here to save his friend. It's call to action. And it's got just like infinite variety to it. It's just awesome. And they make it fun. The soundtrack on that, it's not leitmotifs. It's literally just, let's just have a fun soundtrack. And so when you watch it, you're meant to have fun. You're not meant to take some deeper meaning of the universe out of it. They're like, you're here to have fun. Here's some things that are fun. Here's some nice spectacles. He's hilarious. And then the plot and the story and the structure is there to keep it from becoming just like random ramblings, which is great. I think they kind of lost that in the new one that Netflix did too. But that's the problem, is that nobody now knows how to do this stuff. Mostly because it's women, but I mean, I'll get there. Not you guys. You guys are great. I mean, the other women, the ones in Hollywood. Why'd they rape that? But I don't even want to talk about that, though. That's the point. I actually probably should watch it, because I don't know. And there's every now and then you get accidental masterpieces. It's like, you know how Starship Troopers was meant to make fun of the book. Guy never really read it. RoboCop, the guy was making fun of the genre. He was kind of like mocking the Western and the Jesus story. He always said it was like made to be the story of Jesus on the crucifix coming back 3 days later. But he was making fun of Westerns. He was lampooning him. He was satirizing him. But it was accidental genius in that he made RoboCop is probably the best modern sci-fi Western out there. And you're like, really? Yeah. Did you ever notice that the sound of like the metal clanking had the same cadence as like a horse running that you would put in normal Westerns? It's a Western. That's why he does the whole flipping thing. And that's why at the end, what's your name, son? Murphy. And that's it. Like, boom. Westerns. Yeah, exactly. Hollywood one. Tango and Cash. Dude, Tango and Cash is good too. That was, fuck, who was it? It was oh no, it was this guy. The guy who did Rambo 3. That's one of his other movies. He was I think it's the second unit director or the producer. Anyways, he was integral in Tango and Cash. And you see it. It's the same style of movie in Tango and Cash. Buddy cop movie, solving a crime. There's Tango and Cash. There's Turner and Hooch. Lethal Weapon. There's tons of buddy cop movies. And Tango and Cash, the only reason that I don't elevate it more is because everybody else kind of did it better. Like after Lethal Weapon, it's very hard to come up with a buddy cop movie that accomplishes what it did. But it's good. It's just not the best. And it's not like a new take on it, because a lot of it was mashes. Anyways, so what does this have to do with Die Hard, Rambo 3? Peak genre. And I think it's the sincerity of it too. Like, so Rambo 3 had a lot of witty one-liners, but it wasn't winking at the audience. It was just like Rambo's at his lowest point. That scene there, like, what is this? Blue light. What's it do? Glows blue. I found that hilarious. He wasn't trying to be funny. He was being absolutely sincere in that line. But it's the idea that the Mahood, the weapons guy, he has to bring, the CIA told him to supply all these weapons. So he brings it all. He's like, all right, here's all the weapons you asked for. He's like, yeah, grenades, bow and arrow, guns, bullets, knife. Okay, all this stuff makes sense. What the hell is this? It's a blue light. What's it do? Glows blue. He's like, oh, okay. He's like, why does it need a blue light? And then, of course, he uses it. He puts it on the ground in the caves, and oh man, the guy picks it up, sets off a grenade, blows him up. It's like, oh, it glows blue. I get it. Takes an arrow, puts a blue light on it, stabs, or shoots it into the guy's chest, and then all the guys shoot that guy because he's like, oh, there he is. There's Rambo. He's glowing blue. Like, oh, I get it. It glows blue. They're surrounded by an entire division of Russian people at the Pakistani border. What do we do? Well, surrounding them's out. He's like, it's a fucking great time for jokes. It's kind of one of those moments where he realizes, like, I'm fucked. Like, we're fucked. What do you do? I don't know. And it was kind of like the devil may care bit to it, where you kind of realize, like, he hasn't had that moment, that stick fighting moment, and then right after that is where he has that, where they're beating him with the sticks, and like, the last warning, fuck him. I was like, oh shit. So you like see that character difference between when he's not quite in his invincible superhero mode, and then when he is, there's a little bit of levity. It's kind of like a little bit of dark humor. I get that. Or, who does he think he is? God? God will have mercy. He won't. And that's because, like, Rambo can't just tell you how awesome he is. Too many characters nowadays tell you, I'm awesome. I'm the best this ever. It's like, well, why are you telling me? Can't you do something? One of the screenwriting trips, or one of the storytelling tricks you do is you have another character tell you that, because it's more believable. Like, if I tell you I'm the greatest lover on earth, nobody cares. But if a girl I used to date says that, it has some weight to it. Same thing there. If everybody's telling you how awesome Rambo is, you're like, oh shit, maybe he is good. It's like everybody telling you how villainous the villain is. Oh, he's the worst Russian in Afghanistan. He's the most miserable region. He's doing anything. It like fills you. You're like, oh my God, this guy is the worst. He's Russian Colonel Trotman. And then his main, Zaitev was his name, and his main mad dog henchman, he's Russian Rambo. He's what would happen if the military didn't fuck over Rambo and he was still fighting for them. You'd end up with this guy, and he's strangling people to death for fun. He's like, yeah, fuck him. So anyways, where do you go from there? It's perfected. You have a character that you've developed over 10 years in 3 films. Nobody's there. It's the Endgame Avengers of action films. What are you going to do? You're going to rebuild something like they did with Indiana Jones, but that's a different thing. They can't make another war hero action guy come back. And so the genre kind of dies off. There's not really anything good between 86 and 89 for action that way. It's like, eh. And then Die Hard comes out. And Die Hard figured out how can we put some life back into this? And then instead of Rambo freeing a big country wide open, it's a very constricted one. They actually mashed up the action genre with like the escape genre, like the Towering Inferno, that kind of stuff. What if we took Rambo and the Towering Inferno and put them together in a movie about a guy who's trying to win back his ex-wife during a separation? Like, what? Yeah. But we don't want him to be a superhero because like we can't make him any more than Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger, Commando, Rambo, like you can't outdo that with John fucking McClane. So let's make him weak. Let's make him an everyman. Let's Tom Hanks the character. And it's not just that he's just a cop, because if he's just a cop and he's killing a dozen terrorists, he's still a superhero. Let's take off his shoes. Why is he missing shoes? I will throw some line in the beginning there and do a callback. But you see that? He's weak. He's vulnerable. But he's like terrified. It's not even so much that he's got a plan to kill everybody. He's the greatest cop ever. He's not the greatest cop. He's just some fucking cop. His wife doesn't even like him. He's missing his shoes and he's cut all up and he got shot. He got blowed up and he's hurting. And the cops aren't helping down below. And if he dares tell anybody he's married to one of the chicks, they'll just murder her. So he's got to keep his mouth shut. But it's almost like seat of his pants. He's just figuring out as he goes. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'll strangle this guy because I don't know what else to do. He's clever, but he's not insane. And then that's when he realized, oh, so it's nice now. Instead of having the over-the-top, perfect superhero action film, they're like, let's make it an everyman. Let's make him dangerous. Or not dangerous, but let's make him vulnerable. Oh. Let's get yourself a good woman who brings you... Oh, that's good. It's energy drink, not coffee, but it's so good. Store.rhinestone.com. Go check it out. Use code promotion. $5 off. Worth. Fucking worth. Well, yeah, Christmas, but that's just peppering flavor in there. They could have made it at any time of the year, but the fact they made it Christmas allows them to play around with the genre a little bit, right? Last Boy Scout, also a good movie. But if you notice that, though, Last Boy Scout doesn't hit the same. It doesn't. Because Die Hard was peak, which that's the shitty part of it, is that is like whole escape room thing. He peaked the entire genre on the first movie out, which sucks. There's no Rambo 2, there's no Rambo 3. Die Hard peaked at number 1. You're like, shit, what do I do now? Last Boy Scout, it's still good, still great, but it's not Die Hard. Die Hard 2, not Die Hard. Die Hard 3, also not Die Hard. It kind of has its own transition, same as like Rambo 1 to 3 did too, but it doesn't hit the same. It doesn't do quite right. Like they're never able to quite capture it. Yeah, plus he's balding. Yeah, for a split second I thought you were about to make a brief promo for Stone Energy Drink or something. No. That would be awesome, but in Canada it's too hard. Regulatory capture, you can't make an energy drink. Oh, I'm not saying they're not good. That's the thing. All of these movies are good, but it's not pinnacle. It's not pinnacle good. It's just good. Like I Come in Peace, it's not the best buddy cop movie. It's not the best crime drama. It's not the best serialized action slog with the, win over the girl at the end. It's not the best heist movie. But you put all of them together and it's something completely its own. Die Hard 4 was your first Die Hard, you poor bastard. Poor bastard. All right, so... Anyway, so Die Hard kind of changed it, and that's where that's what has to happen. And these things, they'll come back. There might be another superhero Stallone, Schwarzenegger type movie coming out someday, because maybe people will be like, "Dude, I miss is just some unapologetic action schlock with like, you know, saving my daughter from terrorists or whatever. That'd be great. You know what I miss? Terrorists when they were German. Europeans were such the best villains because they wore suits when they were murdering you. And these Arab ones were okay, and now it's just like it was like white rednecks for a bit were like the main terrorist threat, like in what was it, White House Down? It's like, really, you expect me to believe that meth dealing rednecks in the woods are like, let's take out the president? Like, fuck you. I get it. You can't put a Muslim guy in there anymore because, you know, it's a diversity. You can't put Europeans, and you're like, it's because diversity. So who are we gonna put? I don't know. Let's put somebody from Alabama with a shotgun. Like, all right, we've got your president. No, you don't, you fucking guy. When's the last time we had action movies of that charm? That's a good question. Like the Transporter, I would argue did good because they kind of figured out. So there was like a bunch of different avenues people can go on it. There was like, I'm not going to say an exhaustive list, but you had the Transporter and you had Jason Bourne. Jason Bourne went fully gritty, realized spy thriller drama stuff, super action cuts, quick cuts. They kind of borrowed from The Raid. Like, make it look like good action, make it go fast, and just, like, bedazzle you with bullshit and flashy lights, right? And that was one way to go about it. And I'd argue it worked for Jason Bourne, but they just overused it too much on movies that had no business having that. Like, it turns out making 30 cuts a second was how you make Liam Neeson jump a fence in Taken, and you make a 120-pound girl beat up 17 Russian Spetsnaz soldiers. Constant edits, constant cutting, make you not realize, like, dude, it took him 10 minutes to walk over that fence and Taken. What the fuck? But the other side of things was like the Transporter. Miami Vice kind of took the same thing. They're like, let's just turn this into a melodrama. You're like, really? Guys aren't going to watch that. It's like, just murder some people. It'll be fine. And sure enough, Miami Vice, fucking awesome. But you watch Miami Vice, and what is it? Oh, I have a girl. We're on a date. We're doing this thing and doing this thing. But everybody thinks of it as like, dude, that was a gritty action film. That's awesome. The digital camera, Collateral, same thing there too. Character developments like Taxi Driver meets Mission Impossible meets Miami Vice meets Taxi Driver for Collateral. Literally. Well, Super Troopers is a comedy. That's different. And so you had that route. And the Transporter, I'd argue, went the melodramatic route. You know, he was a, retired guy, retired special forces, just doing driving. Meets a girl, gets into trouble, has to do action. You can go that route on it. And it was more sincere. It's not superhero. Like Jason Statham, it looks like he has that everyman look too, kind of like Die Hard. But then they added that melodramatic story, character arc, character study, meet a girl, find a girl, have a girlfriend thing, right? So you can go that route. You can go the spy route with Jason Bourne. Most things kind of gone Jason Bourne right now, and that's the problem. Everything's about the flash and the pan. And I mean, I'm not going to say it's bad, because like Tony Jaa kicked ass in like Ombak in that same style of like, let's take the Hong Kong action, that Jason Bourne quick cutting, like realistic raid thing, and let's just go with it. And to date, I can't think of many better Hong Kong action scenes than his 15-minute one-take fight in the pagoda. It was what Bruce Lee envisioned in Game of Death, where he was fighting his way up that pagoda, except for like, let's just do it in one take. Let's break things. Let's kick people through doors. I think at one point he smashes a guy's head through a sink. Like, what's the sink doing there? Who cares? That's awesome. Why is he doing that? He wants to find his elephant, and he thinks they killed him. So now he's going to kill everybody. And I was like, oh, dude. And there's room for all of this stuff. And there's just, again, I will never run out of content for Orion, this channel. It's going to be awesome. Because after I'll finish Rambo, I'll get King of the Kickboxers out of DMCA hell. I'll bring up some of the old Bruce Lee movies. I'll maybe have a Jackie Chan retrospective or something like that. Tons of examples there. I'll be able to bring up stuff from the 70s, why Rolling Thunder is awesome. All that shit. Hey, Nick, it's going, buddy. How's it going? I can start doing the Hong Kong side of things. Like, I want to do Hard Boiled so bad. But I know I want to get a few more of these under my belt first before... Because, like, I want to hone, make the process really good. I want this one to be like an evergreen video to end all videos, because Hard Boiled is one of the greatest films ever. It really is. And it breaks all the rules. Like, I'll be spending 5 videos talking to you about what a good character development looks like, or what a good action set piece looks like, or how it action drives the plot forward. And then you watch Hard Boiled and it does none of that, and it doesn't matter because it's still fucking good. Like, to date, I have a hard time thinking about what is a better action set piece than the tea house fight in Hard Boiled. And there might be one, but it doesn't pop up on the top of my head. Not even close. It was just perfect. You see, he's the hard-boiled cop. He's having his drinks. He plays the clarinet. He's in Hong Kong. He's a cop, just gets things done his own. He kills an informant. They had an informant that was helping them break this gang down. What's he do? He kills the informant. Now I got nothing, you fucking idiot. He's like, whatever. 2 cheap Chinese pistols. He's like, I gotta make do with what I got. He slides down the stairs, blowing these guys away. They mow down a bunch of people in the restaurant. It's like, let's just kill 50 people right now. You're like, holy shit. That's like RoboCop. Back when it was like, who has the best kill count? John Woo was like, just all of them. Do all of it. I have not watched action French movies. I actually haven't watched a lot of French movies. I think the only French, like, I'm talking French, not Quebecois. I've watched a few of those, but the only French movie that I think was action was the parkour one, District 13, or Banlieue 13. Yeah, Banlieue 13, I think is what they call it, or Banlieue 13. District 13. It was the parkour movie. It was pretty good. But I mean, I'm not going to make a video on that one. It's not really worth it. Internal Affairs, the one the party ripped off. I haven't actually watched that one either. It's on my list, my to-do list. I wish I was as watched, but it's impossible to be. There's always going to be something you're never going to watch, no matter how much you've watched. I'll probably do some. I want to do like a Kurosawa, like Seven Samurai. I think that'd be great too. You can almost just make like a 3-parter on that, where you have like, or 4. Because you'd watch Seven Samurai, The Dirty Dozen, The Magnificent Seven, the new one with Chris Pratt, and 13 Assassins. Because they're all essentially the same movie. They all just took Kurosawa and was like, I'll just make it in the Wild West. I'll make it, but make it gory as shit. Yeah, it's just too bad because Tony Jaa, I guess, was a huge diva. Huge diva. And so it got very difficult to make movies with him. Anyways, so we're going to have to wrap this up pretty soon because Rule Zero's coming up in about half an hour. Thing I forgot, though, is do I have the ability to do redirects on this channel yet? I don't think I do. I do. Oh, I don't know who's doing Rule Zero. All right. Hold up a sec. Let me find it. I know somebody has a link on it. There she is. So here's what we'll do. Once we're done here, I think it's Jack. It is. Jack's hosting it. So I'll do a redirect there. We can go watch there. Enjoy your Saturday, man. Grab yourself an energy drink or two. I'm 2 coffees and an energy drink in. Use the air fryer. Made some apple crisp. Go have a nooner with the old lady. Come back. We're talking about that idiot from One Direction who took a dive. He did his Vanilla Sky moment, except for, I guess we're in his dream and he woke up. Red Sun. Which one's Red Sun? Was that? Oh no, I'm thinking Rising Sun. Which, there's 2 movies I wanted to do. I don't know if they're going to be any good though, but it's not because they're good. It was Rising Sun with Sean Connery and Wesley Snipes, and Ricochet with John Lithgow and Denzel Washington. There was something about them. Like, first off, Rising Sun, they kind of called it with AI and media manipulation, and I just kind of like the idea of that. Ricochet, I don't know why that sticks out. Oh, it's because they it's kind of like got a Cape Fear, but mixed with like made up lies about the media. It's got that whole like AI vibe to it, so I might do those. You know what's more fun than movies? Anime. Dude, don't even get me started with anime. Like, it sucks because my anime is completely different from everybody else's. Nuke is the only guy who's referenced an anime that I know. I know stuff from like the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, and like 2003 is like my cutoff. I'll talk about Akira all fucking day. I'll talk about Noir. I'll talk about, you guys have never even heard of these ones. Like, oh, and there's Cowboy Bebop, obviously, Trigun, obviously, but Giant Robo, The Day the Earth Stood Still. Nobody knows this fucking series. It's the greatest thing you've ever seen. Nobody's heard of it. And like, this was like a big thing. Mad Dog, The Guyver, 8-Man After, Bubblegum Crisis, Dominion Tank Police, Ramna 1/2. My friend, he's the one in Toronto, went to go have Thanksgiving at his place with him and his girl. His girl's from Japan, and she's talking about her anime that she used to love. She's like, dude, your stuff came out like way before this stuff came. She's like my age. But I guess because, you know, back there it came out and then 7 years later they bring it to North America. So she's like, your stuff's like, my mom would watch that. I was like, fuck. So yeah, it was pretty fun. Yeah, Outlaw Star, that's another good choice. These are all animes, and these are all good animes too. Ninja Scroll, the original Ninja Scroll, really, dude. That's like awesome. The scene where they're throwing those ninja stars and just taking out the Japanese forest trying to kill that guy who's made out of steel. I was like, oh, fuck. No, I haven't watched Space Runway. What's another good one that nobody... For some reason, nobody remembers fucking Robot Carnival. It was the Fantasia of anime, and people don't know what's Fantasia. It's like, really? How do you not know Mickey chopping up that broom and it just made millions of brooms and they were all like, the wizard had to come in and fix everything. So many good things. The Vampire Hunter D, FLCL, Furikuri, all this stuff. Hatuko no Ken, exactly. Wataru wa monshinderu. Nani? Shing! Fist of the North Star was just fucking awesome. All these old ones. And the 80s, there was a crudeness to it that I find like really ages like a fine patina. And there were certain visual things that they always did because artists loved, like, you have to get these certain things done. Vivisecting people, chopping people in half vertically. You never see that in anime anymore. And I'm like, that's what I miss. That, and then the eyeball would fall out and the brains and all that. Akira does that. Vampire Hunter D does that. Wicked City does that. They just don't do that shit anymore. And it's like, I miss that. And it was rough. They didn't have CG. Like, there was CGI was in Akira, but it was just the scene of the highway and the motorcycle chase because they needed an outline to paint on, but it was still all hand done. And it was, yeah, it's just, but that's it. There's just too much. I won't have enough time to talk about it. The only thing, Berserk, you know what's funny? I haven't watched Berserk. My buddy loves it. He talks about it all the time. It's one of those I got to get around to, but I never did. And any of the Initial D, yeah, I remember my buddy was big on. I watched a bit of it, Initial D. I didn't get the whole series down, but it was interesting. Just the idea of a guy doing like street racing. Well, Heavy Metal and Felix the Cat, that's different. That's the Ralph Bakshi 70s Americana rotoscope stuff, which don't even get me started. Fritz the Cat, American Pop, Wizards. What else do we got there? Heavy Metal. Even Heavy Metal 2000, Michael Ironside's in that one, which is awesome. The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Like all those Ralph Bakshi era stuff. Fire and Ice. Fire and Ice is fucking mint. And Star Chaser, Legend of Orin. That's another one that's like, it's Star Wars. It's 100% Star, like you watch it, you're like, that's Star Wars. They got the space pirate. They got the neurotic robot waifu. They got the young boy with the lightsaber, but his brain, it's different, but it's the same. You got the little like lizard that helps him through the thing. You got the spaceship. You got a giant dark ninja with a big black mask, and he's the big villain. And it's like, it's Star Wars. You got the bitchy princess. They have like a Saudi Arabian guy who's a scammer too, which whatever. He's kind of Jabba, close enough. But it's a Star Wars ripoff. Came out in 82, but it's just like so much fun. Star Chaser, The Legend of Orin. They always tell you the one rule, never dig up. He digs up. He does a Plato's Cave thing, and he's like, holy shit, there's a whole world over here. It's fucking awesome. I've got an angle. GTA has a lot of old animation cues. Yeah. And that's what I love about this. So like once I'm finished with the books and I'll probably, maybe a couple more Red Pill Coffee videos or something like that. I got tons of this stuff. And it's going to be a case where I have to literally like brainstorm hundreds of ideas and then just start going down the list making movies. Like I think I was talking before on the first channel where after 5 years, I'd finally finished all of the Red Pill content and like there's nothing else. So what do? I get a new 5-year plan now. It's going to be so much fun. And I'm glad you guys are here for it. Do subscribe, come on in, join in. Thank you very much. This watch time super helps. I don't know if I want to make this podcast a regular thing. I'm definitely going to do it until I get to the 4,000 watch hours so we can finally get this thing monetized and underway. And I appreciate that. So just like, subscribe, and I will make sure to always make it enjoyable for you. I will catch you on the next one. Let's end this with something fun. Where is it? Yeah. Let's end with some Wrath of Khan.
Now, Mr. Spock.
Do you love science fiction but hate how it's not masculine enough? Do you yearn for those simple, timeless stories? Stories that resonate with something deep in your soul?
What the?
Stories, perfectly told. A movie that doesn't have to keep your attention with giant explosions, sarcastic banter, gratuitous nudity for no reason other than it's awesome. A movie that will make you tear up so much that you have to pretend it's lame and laugh so that your friends don't think you are a sissy. Well, I have the movie for you. We bring you the greatest movie that aged like a fine Romulan ale. It's the movie where Moby Dick meets Charles Dickens, meets the duelists, meets a science fiction western, meets our own awareness of our mortality. In Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.